who has put together this series of webinars. Let me just do this. Okay. So welcome again. I think this is our sixth or seventh webinar in this second series. Our first series was in 2017. And again, this is our sixth or seventh webinar. And our guests today are going to be the two lovely guys, Angel and Santiago from Escaparatech. They are in Madrid, and we are very much looking forward to speaking with them and hear everything they have been doing and they are doing within food design. Is going to be very, very exciting because we have a very interesting perspective of how to put together, how to combine technology, lights and sounds and interactivity with food. So it's going to be super interesting. Before we start, let me just say welcome to all of you. And of course, as soon as you join us live here, let us know from where you're from in the live chat room. It's always good to know. I am in France. I'm in Italy, actually, at the moment. Escaparetech are in Spain, Madrid. So let us know from where you are connecting. What's the weather over there? Here is very hot, and in Madrid too, I hear. And of course, let us know what your interest within food design is. Also, at any moment during the webinar, if you have questions, just write them in the chat room, and I will be reading it to Angel and Santiago. And if you're watching this as a replay, also you're very welcome to ask your questions in the comments below of these YouTube videos. I always look at the comments, and if it is something that I can answer to, I will. If it is something direct to Angel and Santiago, I will be sending them your comment, and somehow you will receive a reply. Okay, so without further ado, let me have the pleasure to introduce to you the group. I like to call them a food design group, Escaparetech, Angel and Santiago from Madrid. Guys, tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, what is your background, and how you have come to create Escaparetech.
Well, hi, Francesca. Hi, all of the people listening to the streaming. First of all, we are very happy of being here in your channel. We have been crazy fans since the beginning of our work over food design. And well, my name is Santi, and I come from a profile of engineering. I'm a hardware engineering, and also work as a electronic musician from some time ago. And these are the two fields from I come. And here's Angel here.
Yeah, I'm Angel, art director, DJ and music producer. Well, a lot of things, really. Well, this is 3 years ago. Speaking with Santi, we have the idea to put together all hobbies and all abilities and start Escaparatech. It's a experiential design studio based in Madrid. And we have three principal areas. One is the experiential design, and the food design is inside this area. The other area is artistic consultancy. We help to the artist to implement his work, their work. And the other area is the educational training. And we stimulate to the young people and not so young through the creativity and learn technology.
Well, I would like to share our URL or website, and we can see it here. Not right now. It doesn't work, but
no, es compartir otra cosa.
Okay, let's see. And we can see here our website. We invite the listeners to navigate through it. And we see here these are all, they are not all the works updated in our website, but you can see some of our works over food design. But we encourage the people which is interested in following us to follow the most updated thing that is the Instagram. There we put also many times in real time. We put all of our projects there, and they can see some of our work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and guys, everybody who are listening, you can find their Instagram account in the description of this video. So just scroll down and you will see it, so you can see the link immediately.
Okay, so that's our introduction to ourselves.
Yeah.
So how did it happen that you guys came from engineering and music and DJing and technology, and how did it happen that somehow you started thinking, hey, food?
Well, first of all, we create Escaparetech because we have the idea of making use of some other knowledge of ourselves. We were somewhat closed in a box. I normally work as a teacher in hardware engineering, and I wanted to try to use in a creative way the knowledge I have in technology. And I knew Angel from some years ago. Mainly we knew in the net level music scenes, maybe 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And we speak about trying to make something creative between technology and art direction. And we, at the beginning, think about doing somewhat of interactive stands for shops and things like that. Our stand for shop in Spanish is Escaparate. So the name comes from there, Escaparatech. But after a lot of talk, we see that there were many possibilities. Yeah. And we somewhat luckily find this discipline, and we find some funny effects of food and technology. And then we decide to go deep into this field of work.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I have a client, a catering client called Catering Spain, and the first work was with this client. Maybe it was the opportunity to start to work with food. Now, well, I like it's a very
rewarding, very rewarding,
or fun to express and to mix all that you want.
Brilliant. Yes, absolutely. And especially if you, as you have said, especially since you're interested in designing for the whole experience, then for sure food gives you the opportunity to design for that extra sense that other products or installation don't give you the opportunity to do. So I'm very excited about what we are going to see. And before we get to your actual work, I have a few more questions to get there. But before my next question, I actually want to, because I want to point out something that we were laughing about when we met before this webinar, because those who are going to see us, those who are going to see this webinar are going to notice that it looks like there is a certain similarity in our hairstyle choices. So we were laughing about the fact that maybe this is the food design haircut. The what did you say? Not the original, the mandatory food design haircut. But so we don't have just our haircut in common. For sure, we have a lot of things that we have in common in the way we see food and with the way we see the experience of food. So to get there, I would like to ask you a question that for sure you two have been asked many times, but it's also a question that I personally always like to ask myself. And I like to collect these various answers. So to you two, I would like to ask, what is your definition of food design?
Bueno, we prepare a very short and concrete definition for us. Food design is the design of the connections between disciplines and process related to food. It's very
it's very general. On our perspective, we have we have seen food design as some sort of box where a lot of things can fit in. So in particular, our food design approach is about how to fit all the technology capabilities are out there into this wonderful box, which is food design.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And it's something that sometimes we tend to forget, and sometimes our students, for example, tend to forget. So whenever we talk about design, we have we must always use design as a process to spread out wide in our research, not only in terms of knowledge, but as you said, exactly in terms of processes. And so the interdisciplinarity of food design is definitely paramount. So having said, now that you've given this definition of food design for you, this is my next question. What can food design do? In other words, what can food design do, in your opinion, from your own experience, that no other discipline can do?
Well, for us, food design has a very special thing about other creativity fields, which is that maybe the only one where the sense of taste can be incorporated to the experience. So we always say in our talks that food design works over the 6 senses. I mean, visual sense, smell, kinesthetic, auditive, taste, and we added the 6th sense in a humorous way, which is the 6th sense for us is the sense of humor. We always try that our pieces or food design experience have some sort of relationship with fun, having fun, laughing, and these kind of things.
Yeah, and sometimes the humor is no easy. It's no easy work with humor because we move between art and marketing, and in the world of art, the humor is no popular. And maybe if you use the humor, you are not a serious people working. But I think this is not true.
We will talk about this later, but we also look at this experience. Normally, our food design experience are collective, are for caterings and things like that. So we use these experiences to break barriers between people, because having fun and do some sort of game while you are eating broke a lot of barriers and tie the links between the people.
We like to create a friendly atmosphere.
That's
to prepare the atmosphere to feel the experience and to enjoy together.
I love it. I love it. Makes a lot of sense. So maybe I have an inkling on what the answer to my next question, what your answer to my next question might be, but what is the thing that thrills you the most within your work? What is the thing that you wake up in the morning and you're very happy to go and do?
Now it's difficult. Now, food design was. We are very lucky to find the food design because we are looking for a way to express. And food design is very complex, and we can do all the things that we want, and it's a good motivation for every day.
Yes,
have no limits.
For me, also that, and also personally, what makes me up to wake in the morning, apart from the cup of coffee, which is a pretty standard answer, I'm pretty thrilled by the possibilities of mixing technology and creativity, which is a very, very unexplored field, but because we have investigated some technologies which are really, really from the past. They are not the latest technologies, and there have been somewhat forgotten because they are not useful for the mainstream technology applications. and we see that there is a possibility to give it a creative way of using them, and finding every day new things about this topic is very, very exciting for us.
Sometimes this technology is from a lot of years, but now it's more easy to develop for everybody, and the technology has in democratized, no?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. I love it. I love the fact that you are finding a way to recycling in a way all technologies, as you just said, and just maybe not recycling, but just bringing back awareness to all the not that old, but like somehow forgotten technologies. I love this. I had no idea this is actually something you were doing. I thought what you were working on was pretty. I don't know. I had known nothing about technology, so there you go. But it's interesting that you, in your view, your job in a way is simpler. You're taking something that is not, I don't know, completely contemporary, and is not, for that reason, maybe it's not even that expensive. Yeah. And therefore, you have even more freedom to just bring it back and throw creativity at it and food. And so it makes a lot of sense. Well done. So let's dive into your work. And I know there are a few things that you're going to show us, and I'm super excited. So there are a few, you have worked on a few things, and a few of these combine food with light and sound. Show us a bit of these examples and how these ideas came about, and how you put them together, etc.
Now, we think that the best form to understand is some prototypes that we have here to show. For example,
this is what we call the touch plant, which is a magic plant. We cannot say where is the trick, and it's involved in the food in the eating process, because the purpose of the plant is to aromatize your hands before picking the food you are going to eat, so you can enjoy the smell of the plant. And we can see here what this plant do. There's no... So we are going to try again. Well,
we translate.
We translate. This plant says in Spanish, please touch me this way. Well, it's a plant.
The way you know, the way you know now is this is plus is for
plus 18 piece.
Yeah, it's a bit dirty, this plant.
Very dirty, because it's summer. I don't know. Well, we have many personalities. More. That's it. Well, it's
touch me again.
We have many personalities on this. Well, we finished this.
Polynize me, say.
We don't want you to be censored by YouTube, so
right, exactly. But talking about putting humor on the table, I mean, well done. This is fantastic.
Well, we have a second personality, which is this more politically correct.
Okay.
Universal. We are going to see it now. Let's see. It has, how do you say that? Jiggles or...
Jiggles.
Jiggles.
Really, this is not a plant. This is a hands aromatizer.
Right, fantastic. And I just wanted to bring the attention to the fact that even though maybe on the video you could see just lightly, but there is a light coming from below the plant. Well, so you guys make sure that you see this when they touch it now. Exactly. So it's not just the sound, there's the light also.
Yes, it reacts with light and with sounds, with all things. And
so when you...
Yes, tell me.
When you put it up, I guess on a table or on a table, I don't know if a dinner table, or a serving table at an event or something, when you put it up, are they surprised by it? Do they know that there are going to be these sounds and lights coming out of it, or do you tell them before, or do you leave the surprise?
Yes, it's totally a surprise. We normally put a note.
Yeah.
That only says touch the plant before you eat. And we will show later some pics with the face of the people, and the reaction is surprise, amazing, and love, which is our main purpose.
Fantastic.
And this is another prototype. This is for the sauces. It's interactive sauces. We do the example with water.
Yeah. Okay. And I think we can see all these images on Instagram, on your Instagram, right? I think I remember seeing these.
Yes. It works with marmalade, usually with cheese, with detach, with different sauces.
We are going to see how it works right now.
When you put the food in the sauces. When you toast the sauces, sound salsa music. Cuando mojas en la salsa, suena música salsa, sound salsa music. This is synesthetic.
Because sauce, is some sort of wordplay in Spanish. Sauce, salsa, and salsa is salsa music. So the experience is listen to my salsa, to my sauce.
Right.
That's the wordplay and the humorous part of the piece.
Have different lights, different color, and different kinds of salsa music.
Que te va, mi socio, cuadrante no vuelva más.
I love it. I mean, I'm so curious now. You have to tell us what the trick is. Is it reacting to pressure, or are you pushing a button behind the scenes?
It's magic. It's magic. No. No, I would reveal all the tricks. We have a PayPal. No, it's a joke. No, the trick is this is the effect of the capacitive buttons. Everyone knows how it works. The modern vitroceramic cookers with a button, tactile button, which is capacitive. So we have there some capacitive sensor. So only when you short the circuit, the capacitive circuit between the foot and the ground, which is around us, it creates the triggering of the effect. It's a bit complicated to explain.
It sounds like magic to me.
I say never that she is like a Jedi, because we are detective perturbation or changing the force. But really, it's
the force. Yes.
The force is the essence of the.
I love it.
So that's it.
Well.
We are going to show this one or later.
Well, we have one more.
We have one more. Let's go.
This it's very important for us, the gamification, to do some simple process into a game or a fun activity. And for example, this is like a classic game called Operation.
Yeah.
You know what is it?
Yeah.
You have to take the
candy.
The candy without touch the border of the hole.
If you touch, there is a response of danger and
you can take
and you can eat. So the game process is you have to take it without touching the borders. And it's very interesting, the reaction of the people, because no one forbids you to eat the candy if you have failed. There's no policeman there to force you, but people unconsciously leave the candy there. So, oh, I have done it wrong, I have to begin now. That is very funny for us.
That's fantastic. I love it. So on this note, I would say, what have you learned then? Tell us about what you have learned about the interaction between food and the. Tell us about what you have learned in observing people interacting with something that puts together food and technology. What is people's response? And of course, as a consequence, tell us about what is the importance or value for you of this interactivity aspect. Why do you want to pursue it so much? And maybe why do you think other food designers should investigate it as well?
Well, for us, the interactivity is the most important point in our work, because we do eating design. We are not chefs. We work with food, but with simple food like jam or like marmalades and cheese. But we need, when we need more elaborate plates, we work together with a chef. The interaction for us is the meaning of our work.
Yes, and the reactions of the people have been very surprising for us, because well, we expected a reaction, a fun, love reaction, but when you see someone using Oye mi salsa and dancing, that's incredible for us, because we know that technology is something very present in our life, but when you take out the technology and bring it to a new context, it's like something completely new, because I mean, these are simple things, are only light or music. Apparently, it's something which everyone is related to in his normal life. But when you bring it to a context which is food, where normally it's not present, the reaction is very of amaze, surprise, love, and this is very, very, very rewarding for us. Another thing that you talk about, giving some advice about of our experience on observing the people, and we recommend to test our pieces with children.
Yeah,
because the children,
the best testers
testers of the world. You bring a pretty clear piece which has a normal function, and children find new ways to hack it and gives you new ideas for this. That is very surprising for us,
because that's the way that we work. We hacking. We are looking for a different way to use the things, not the normal. We find another use to things, to the object.
This is actually very interesting. It makes a lot of sense. If you are interested, this is what you're saying, right? If you're interested in testing your, let's say, product or whatever, and observe all the various ways it could be used in, that you are not anticipating, also use children, because the percentage of alternative uses that will emerge with children are higher than the percentage that you would have with adults. So maybe the amount of different alternatives that you would have with kids, you would find it with a sample of, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 times more adults, right? A big group of adults gives you this much alternatives. A small group of kids probably gives you the same, right? Because they're so open, they don't have boundaries, as you said. So this is actually very good advice, very interesting. So I was thinking, just out of curiosity, just have a little discussion within us. Angel, you were saying that for you, interaction is everything, because you're not chefs. So interaction is everything. So in a way, you're saying that in your case, food is maybe we can say relatively simple. The focus of your events, of your experiences, is not the artistry behind the combination of flavors and texture, etc. Maybe, right? But in your case, you use good food, not Michelin star restaurant quality food, but good food, and you enhance the experience with technology. Is that what you said, more or less?
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this. Do you think that technology? Do you think that a device like the ones that you have been showing us, if used with combined with the 3 Michelin star dish, would take away something from the experience, or would it still give something more to the experience, even though the food is already excellent? Do you think that if we put an extra dimension, like any of the things you've showed us, the experience kind of becomes too much, or maybe it's never too much? What do you guys think? I'm just curious.
No, sometimes it's too much. We have to find the balance between too much experience and food and eat.
Right.
And sometimes when I design the experience, we put the focus in to do the process very simple and very intuitive, because usually the people never see our prototypes and never test it. The process is very simple. Is touch the plant, is put the food in the sauces, is take candy. But the handicap is do something simple convert in a very special experience. No, I think this is a way, simple things, but looks like very special things. We are looking for work with chefs, a little, to do a little bit complicated and complex all this process. But depend of the event and the target of the people, you can do more experimental things,
exactly,
or more common things. When we working in catering, we bring this experience, our experience for everybody. But for example, if we want to do an experience more complex with an experimental music, for example, with more technical concepts, for example, in the catering is not the event to do. We are looking to collaborate with different chefs and mix his concept of culinary concept with our eating design process.
Right. Yeah, I think this makes sense. I always think that I've always taught my students that you can push the boundaries of the experience that you're trying to design or for which you are designing as far as you want. But sorry, this is my dog, my brother's dog, my nephew. He's snoring. I don't know if you heard him.
There. Yeah.
Are you comfortable? Anyway, so that you can push the boundary of the experience as far as you want, but the food, the quality of the food must be a given. So the quality of the food itself must be the best that you possibly can put on a plate.
Yeah, no.
Once you have that, you can add anything else you want. But if you don't have that, if the quality of the food is not good, then it doesn't matter how many sounds and lights you're going to put, people in the end are going to have a bad memory of the experience. So in a way, I was thinking that you could possibly have your type of complementary aspects to food with a 3 Michelin star food, and have a an amazing experience. But as you said, I think it's very important to, for designers, this is what why I'm pointing this out. I think it's very important, as you said, to be careful with expectations. Be careful of what the location of your design is going to be and what people are going to expect. Is it one event that people know they're going to expect something crazy, or is it a restaurant that is going to serve the thing for months and months or years, and people are going to, you know, get used to it? So I think that, as you said, the expectations are very, very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, what is your fascination with combining technology with food specifically? Why do you think these two things work so well together, besides the element of humor, etc.?
No, really, the reason is food design have all the possibilities. It's the most complete discipline, because it's the unique discipline that you can eat and you can taste something in the architecture, in the dance, in the painting. You can eat and you can use the taste senses. And through the food design, we can and it is a pleasure. It's necessary, but it's a pleasure, and it's very complete.
Also, from our perspective, also the fascination comes because technology is one of our preferred disciplines, and we show a very open field to that here. So that itself is very fascinating. You have a lot of field of free for working of that, so that thrills us very much. But also, for me, one of the things which fascinates me about combining technology and food is there are some new properties, physical properties. This is a little bit technical. Physical properties of the food, which I haven't thought before. I mean, we work over the conductivity of the food to bring out our experience, and the capacity effects, which until I couldn't see that working. I didn't believe it. So, and because I came from this technical knowledge, and it seemed for me very, very hard to measure these properties on the food. But we discovered later that it was possible, and there's a lot of field of work on it.
Absolutely. I think it makes a lot of sense. And I think also that because there are so many possible applications and routes within technology itself, that then you could apply so many of these technology applications into food, right? I mean, when we talk about technology, first we talk about different disciplines like physics. Food can be used to talk about physics and chemistry and I don't know what else. And then you add the tangible aspects of technology, which, you know, machines, things, robots, etc. And I think that I mean, it can become so huge, and you guys have definitely a lot of space to experiment with.
Yeah, really.
So what do you think technology can do for food design in the future? What do you think are what do you think are some applications of technology that you see being used in the future?
Bueno, sí. Now, we think is find the balance between tradition, sustainability, and technology. I think this is the way to advance. This is the way like the civilization was advanced in the time. Depends the use how you use these three concepts: tradition, sustainability, and technology. You can, it's like for example, like psychology, so social psychology. You can try to understand the people to help the people, for help the people, or for manipulate the people.
Yeah.
The discipline is the same, but it's the dependent use that you.
This is a very good way to put it. Yeah.
It's very interesting because the joint use of food and technology has a very, for us, powerful message, because food somewhat is related to sustainability, to the planet, to ecology thinking, and technology normally has been its natural enemy, and it's somewhat divorced. There's an eternal divorce between technology and ecology, somewhat, and bringing technology to food design has somewhat that powerful message that these two things maybe some days can work together. And for example, the plants for us has this unconscious message that someone, maybe anyone feels that you can touch the plant, you can touch the earth.
And it's alive. Or it's not on a spray.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe technology actually is one of the best tools that we have to go towards a more sustainable future, actually, right?
Yeah. And it's recyclable. We keep alive the plants for one event to the other event. Sometimes we buy another plant because it's important, the aspect, but we try to use for us in house and to do tests or to do some food.
So are you saying that in your kitchen you have a basil plant that whenever you touch it, you said, "Oh yes, toca."
Always. I have one near my bed.
Okay. So guys, what has been so far your greatest challenge and your most rewarding moment?
I wanna show you some images, some photos from an event that we do this year in Mini Hub. Mini Hub is a new space in Madrid to share the different cultural aspects in the city. And well, we
see them.
Okay, and we do a showcase. We Escaparatech showcase was a mix of talk, concert, and catering. Was the way to show all the possibilities that we offer. Because these prototypes are really are tools for us or for chefs or for caterings. Really are tools, and you can use this to design your own experience. For example, we do a short concert and show these tools, like, for example, this table with we put an apple in the middle of the concert, and we wreck the sound of the cut in the table, and we make loops, music loops with this song, and we start to make music. For example, this is an instrument. It's a tool. If some chef want to do a show when preparing the food, this is a tool to start to make music, for example. And this is another tool. Is one of the most important prototypes. Is the Zampollo. It's a jam that sounds like a cello when it's cutting. And we play with Zampollo and piano and do a performance. Here the table, and here the sauces. When the sauces is like oye mi salsa, the prototype that I showed you, but we can use to trigger sounds, light, but we can trigger on a screen or a motor or whatever. For example, this vegetable we use with the apples like a battery, like a drum. Well, we mix the talk part with the comfort part. With at the end of the event, the people can eat and taste our plants or sauces and play with the operation. When the face of the people and the reaction of the people was incredible.
Yes, and it's very, very rewarding to give a speech and after that give food to the people. That makes that the experience was a very whole experience.
Yeah, complete circle, absolutely. So you're saying that you're basically, during the performance, you were recording the random sounds, and then immediately you were putting them together to create a song.
Mm-hmm. That's it. We recorded the cut of the apple, and we have a machine that loops these sounds of the cutting and creates a riff where we could construct the music we played.
So this is where your background as a DJ,
yeah.
I think, Angel, came. Okay. Is there any place that we can listen to this music on our own, or?
Well, it's not recorded the live,
no.
But we will repeat it, of course.
No,
yeah.
You wanna listen to music, for example, search Crisopa, that is his artistic name as music producer. I have a web, galancaledangel.com. If you wanna listen, we have a lot of music free download with a Creative Commons license.
Done with food as well?
No.
Okay, then you're gonna add it to that.
Yeah.
Well, but
it's
a possibility.
It's our background. If we work with music and food is possible because we have very clear the form to work with sound.
Well, but you have give us some very interesting ideas to do a reference which food music.
Absolutely, you should do a whole CD. No, CDs are not a thing anymore. A whole album with definitely.
That's it. Very.
And while you do that, you must record yourself and then put the video on YouTube because people are gonna go nuts.
Yes.
Yeah, we will do.
Okay, this is your project in your free time, okay? And
yes.
I'll see you in 6 months for an update. Okay, so this is my next question. In the beginning, I asked you, and here I really want to move the conversation towards possibly the future and possibly sustainability, which I see for you too is a topic of importance. So in the beginning, I asked you, what can food design do? And now I would like us to look at the future. And I would like to ask you, what should food design do? What do you think are the areas that food design should explore? What do you think are the areas that food designers should concentrate on to design for the future, to design for a better future, maybe?
Yeah. Well, we detect a problem because the sustainability sometimes is a luxury. I think the most important is to find a way to democratize the ecological food, the normal food. Now the traditional way is a luxury, and this is not possible. I think this is the principal way or principal problem to solution. Food design is interdisciplinary. It's necessary to learn to work in team, to teamwork yeah, it's very necessary. It's difficult sometimes to coordinate a lot of different people, and most of the chefs of restaurant or people around the food is very busy all the time. Have no time most of the time, and it's very difficult to
find
the form to
work together.
Yes. Sustainability, like not like a luxury. Teamwork, keep dreaming. It's important. Keep dreaming and keep the illusion. Well, the design is the way to do the things easier, samples and understandable. Well, this is for food design too.
Yeah, I completely agree, and you are another example, guys, of food designers, or at least partial food designers, don't only work with food, but with food designers who do not have a food background. But yet again, we have another example for all of you guys who are watching these and have a similar background. Another example of how a food background, food knowledge, culinary arts knowledge is not essential to be a food designer, is not essential to work with food. First of all, as Escaparetech have been showing us a little bit, you might, and also other designers that we have interviewed 2 weeks ago, you might choose to produce food that you have the abilities to do, or you will have to, you just have to find a chef that is willing to work with you, find a catering who's willing to work with you. And again, as Angel just said, find people who have the right attitude and really interested in co-creating and use their creativity in combination with yours. So lovely message, really love that. So from your own experience, from observing people interacting with your with the events that you have put together, from observing people interacting with food and the combination of technology and humor, what is your sense of what people want? What do people want when it comes to food? What are people looking for? What triggers people's happiness when it comes to food?
Well, for us, mainly, we in our work, we see people searching new experience and playing pleasure, because it is a necessary question, a necessary issue. But when people goes there, it's searching basically pleasure of that. That's the people we find in our work. And we explored the curiosity of this audience, and we try to focus that the people focus on the experience and connect with the child that they have inside, because that's makes us to make of our experience somewhat of a game. The game connecting with food, connects us with the child, with some deep emotional content, and I think this is a very great way to connect with essential pleasure of eating.
Really, when we mix disciplines, when we mix disciplines, sometimes we try to disciplines and concepts, and we try sometimes to give extra value to the concept, and sometimes we break the concept with mixing with the opposite concept. For example, we can reinforce some ideas. For example, if you are a company and you want to do a catering, and you can transmit some ideas or some values from your company, I can help to do. reinforce these values, but we can do the opposite. We can do think about another possibilities and different problems. Depend of the event, we can do something more friendly or more philosophical or more ecological.
Well, that's an important thing. There, we have been working in different caterings with different environments, and one of our first works were in a festival called Gastro Festival with related gastronomic experience with art. All the the caterings were given in art galleries. So there was somewhat a very easy way to use these devices of us with this context, because we saw that the creativity of the context will be suitable for our work.
Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, right? You were saying before the beginning of the question, but and that made me think this. What do you think is the difference between people's expectations, between the expectation of those people who come to events like yours and the expectations of the people who just go to the restaurant? Do you think that? Do you think people who go to let's say a very good restaurant are looking for what is it that they are looking of? What are the differences between what they are looking for between going to a very good restaurant and going to an event like yours? And I'm just going to say that let's say that the quality of food is the standard, is more or less the same.
Well, in an event, there's an important thing that in the events we participate, normally the event is a catering. All of people picks the food from the same place somewhat, and the experience we are using are somewhat oriented to a collective. I mean, they are oriented to a group of people which is going to pick that food, and the reactions are somewhat collective. All the people laugh. Maybe all the people sees that and pick a photo. I mean, that is a very different context than a good restaurant where somewhat the interaction is more individual, perhaps, maybe more controlled. We have thought, we are preparing an experiential, this is a secret, we are preparing an experiential and collective dinner, and we are rethinking a lot of our concepts to fit this context, because we see it as pretty different because of this stuff.
Yeah, and the quality of the food, I think, is very important in all the case. Yeah, if the food is no good, all the rest have no sense.
Definitely. Okay, so what is the #1 advice that you would give to young food designers or food designers who are going to design the products, the event, and the food services of the future? What is the one thing that you've learned that you would like to give to others as an advice?
Well, we mainly, our modest advice is to find a balance between tradition, sustainability, and evolution. And as Angel say, for us it's important to find a way to democratize this new privilege of sustainability and living this luxury context of
it is the balance between tradition and technologies. I think
is our main message of what we do.
And we
go for it. Okay.
Encourage. We encourage the people, to the young people, young designer, to explore in the concept of mix. For example, in the music, we like a lot the mashup concept. I don't know if you know what is a mashup. It's in music when you take the instrumental part of a song and mix with the lyrics of the other song. And these two songs are perfect together.
Yeah, like in culinary arts, we have fusion cuisine, right?
Yeah, this is the way. And think not all the lyrics are good for this instrumental, and not all the experience are good for this food. You can to look and to find and to test and to explore. But this is the way. This is the way. Think a little more so far.
Definitely, I love it. I completely agree with you guys. So, what is the way you hope to influence the world of food design in the future? What is the footprint that you hope to leave?
Well, it's related to what Angel has said right now.
Yeah.
Is our vision of mixing new concepts into the food, on bringing this new concept. It has not to be technology. For us, technology is our main tool. Maybe there is something there. I am absolutely sure that there are some new fields to incorporate. So I love this expression in English called thinking out of the box. There is no expression similar in Spain in Spanish, but it's I think the best advice.
Yeah.
Okay, love it. Thank you so much, guys. So my last question, we are at an end here, and my last question, as those who have been following these webinars have know by now, is a question that is going to bring it all back together. Is going to bring it back to a personal space and a more intimate space within ourselves, because of course, besides being food design thinkers and musicians and DJs, we are people in the end. And as people, we have loads and loads of experiences within food. So this is the question that I love asking people, and I just love to collect the answers from these people. So my question to you guys, my last question to you guys is, what is your most meaningful food, not your favorite food, but your most meaningful food, and why?
For me, maybe one of the meaningful food is bacalao al pilpil. I remember my father cooking bacalao al pilpil. Bacalao al pilpil is a plate from the Basque culinary. Have 3 basic ingredients: bacalao,
Cod.
Cod is fish. Cod, oil, olive oil, and garlic. And the way to prepare is very soft, and you must put the fire very soft, and you have to move the crock pot in this way all the time, more than an hour. And I remember when you finish the gelatin of the fish mixing with the oil and create sauces like mayonnaise. It's called alioli. I don't know if you know alioli.
Definitely, yes, I think so. Aioli, yeah, it's it's a type of mayonnaise that is a bit garlicky, maybe.
That's it. But without egg. It's like a mayonnaise, right, but without egg.
That's it.
Okay.
The way to prepare is more than an hour. It's very soft. And I remember my father with the back. I have 1 hour moving the bacalao. Now on the plate is very nice, very savorous.
And for
Fantastic.
me, it's a very simple food. I'm from the island of Mallorca, and one of my greatest pleasure when I live there, a place which I miss very much here in Madrid. And one of my greatest pleasure there was to go biking. It's a wonderful place to go biking there in a sports sense. And I have a group of people there when I was a child, and we go biking a lot of kilometers. And we every time we go with the bicycles, we stop in a different city of Mallorca, and we take a lunch, which it was always the same, which is only bread, ham, olive oil, and some garlic. That is called pa and boli, bread with oil. That's the translation. It's much more famous, the pan tumaca from Catalonia, but there is a version of the pan tumaca of Catalonia in Mallorca, which is called bread and pa and boli, bread and oil, bread with oil. And this brings me memories of some sort of freedom or power, which I only have when I cycle over the mountains in Mallorca. And this is my most meaningful food for me.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. I really, really loved your stories. Thank you so much for sharing them with me. Okay, so we have come to an end of this webinar. Thank you again, Escaparetech, Angel and Santiago, for sharing with us your work. Thank you, guys.
It's our pleasure.
It's our pleasure. We have fun, which is very important for everything. So thanks to you, Francesca, and thanks the listeners.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Absolutely. Let's remember to have fun. Let's remember to use technology to put together, to democratize sustainability. I think this is a wonderful message. And let's remember to have fun while we design and to put fun into our design, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Thank you, everybody, for watching this webinar live. Thank you to those who will be watching this as a replay. Again, if you have any question, let us know in the comments below. And go on Instagram and follow Angel and Santiago at Escaparetech. And I hope to see you again next week. We are going to talk with Lucas Posada of Cocina Intuitiva from Colombia, another wonderful webinar and the last one for this series. Again, thank you, Escaparetech, and thank you, everybody, for following this webinar. And as always, have a lovely day and happy food design. Bye.